So a community is in mourning today and in shock after a student athlete suddenly died from a mysterious illness. Her name was Madison Small. She was a member of the varsity softball team. Her teammates say that she wore a pink bow for every game, and they plan to keep that tradition alive in her memory.
We got her number embroidered in pink on every one of our jerseys, and then we each got a pink bow that we're going to wear every game.
What happened here, right? Dr. Kevin Campbell is a practicing cardiologist and an assistant professor of medicine at the University of North Carolina. Doctor, good to have you with us today. We know so little about this, but we know it was very sudden, came out of nowhere. She was playing ball with her dad one night, and she was gone the next day.
Yeah, you know, when we see sudden death in a young person like this, particularly the way this was described, we think of a couple of things. One would be an infectious illness like meningitis, which could be deadly within 12 to 24 hours, as in her case. Another would be if she had some sort of catastrophic event in her brain, such as a bleeding episode from an aneurysm or something like this. Again, this is all speculation, but as a physician, those are the first couple of things that come to mind.
Yeah, and we know that they've said that they're not worried about contagious disease because they were just coming off of a week of spring break and hadn't had a lot of interaction. But you say you're still a little concerned about that possibility. Certainly,
if meningitis was a possibility and we just don't know enough to know whether it was or not, anyone exposed to her directly could be, you know, contagious, and I would want them treated with prophylactic antibiotics because this is a very deadly illness and can just evolve so quickly.
And we don't know that it's meningitis. We just want to say that we're talking about the possibilities because we're waiting for the results of what happened to her. But if it were meningitis, how does it spread? Educate everybody at home.
So meningitis spreads through droplets in the air, direct contact, sharing glasses of water, things like that. But, you know, it's so highly contagious that when you see outbreaks of meningitis, like on college campuses that we hear about, all the kids get treated. So if I were a parent of a kid who had been near her, I would talk to my pediatrician. Right. Again, we just don't know enough.
And you want to make sure that your children have been vaccinated for meningitis to try to lower the cases of that. You also talk about intracranial bleeding or stroke as a possibility, or cardiac arrest. Obviously, all of that so unlikely in a person of her age, but it could happen.
It could happen. Certainly with stroke, we could see something sort of like a aneurysm that ruptured and bleeding in the brain, and it may fit with her prodrome where she felt unwell for a couple of hours and then woke up in the middle of the night with a terrible headache, and so that would go along with that. Cardiac arrest is rare in young athletes, and her clinical picture doesn't really fit with that, but again, the autopsy is going to be very, very revealing.
Beautiful, beautiful young girl. I know it's an awful hard time for her town and her friends, and we're with them. We wish them well. Thank you very much, Doctor.
Thanks for having me.
Hopefully we'll get some answers as to what happened here.